welcome. You're watching the Money Show with me, Pvt.Ltd, and now it's turn to get your mutual fund portfolio answered because there are plethora of funds available in the market to invest your hard-earned money in. But how do you assess which is the right portfolio, which is the right fund for your portfolio? What are the criteria that one should look at? So to help you navigate through this maze, today I have with me Hemant Rustagi from Wiseinvest. Also, do not forget to send across your mutual fund portfolio queries on our WhatsApp number, which is 8657974571. You can also email us your queries on the Money Show at etnow.tv. So let's begin. And Hemant, good evening and welcome to the Money Show. We also have our first viewer online with us, Krishna A. Rao. Hello, Mr. Rao. Good evening. Thank you so much for sending across your question. Mr. Gopi Raj. Is that Mr. Gopi Raj?
Yes.
Hi, sir. Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Are you traveling somewhere outside?
Yes, I'm outside my house right now, but
Okay. Not a problem. So I have your question, sir, and you wish to exit some funds to your monthly SWP, and you have ABSL Equity Advantage, Motilal Oswal Flexi Cap, you have SBI Flexi Cap, HDFC Small Cap, right?
No. I'm having SIP in Sundaram Consumption
Sorry, okay,
Fund.
I think I got the wrong question. Okay. So I think we have multiple callers of the same name, so I just got confused. Apologies there. Okay. So you have an SIP investment of 10,000 per month in Sundaram Consumption Fund. You are not satisfied with the performance so far, and even if the market is high, your fund is not performing, it seems. And you also have a well-balanced portfolio which is diversified across large, mid and small cap. So do you want to share the name of those funds? It will be easier for our expert to give you the right kind of suggestion for the portfolio if we have the names of those funds.
Yes, so I have a 10,000 rupee SIP in Mirai Asset Large Cap Fund. I have a 7,500 rupee SIP in Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund. Then I have a 3,500 rupee SIP in Quant Small Cap Fund. And, and the Sundaram Consumption Fund, I had taken it before I had much knowledge about mutual funds. So then, it was continuing, but then that corpuses there are not getting good returns. So I thought if I can divert that corpus to some other fund.
All right. So, so Sundaram Consumption Fund is a problem for you. Otherwise, you are happy with the large cap, mid cap and small cap performance in your portfolio, right? Nothing to be touched over there. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. All right. So, let's figure out as to what should be done for this consumption fund. I'll connect with Hemant, our guest today. So, Hemant, Sundaram Consumption Fund clearly looks like a problem in terms of performance for Mr. Gopi Raj, and otherwise he says that he is well diversified and he's pretty happy with the fund's performance also. And I think you can also recommend him a fund or two because he says he's a moderate risk taker with his capital. So maybe if in case he wants to, diversify further, what will be the take? And also Sundaram Consumption Fund, looking at this particular sector, and this particular fund, I mean, these we've discussed this several times, Hemant. Thematic funds, they perform as per market movement, and there are news-based figures for it, and there is a trend for that particular sector that one needs to follow. Even though Mr. Goprat must have seen returns earlier in the earlier phase, there has been certain period of time where there has been a non-performance or underperformance. Should one be waiting for the fund to pick up or completely exit this particular thematic fund?
Well, Kavita, I think you as you rightly mentioned, the thing is that if you really look at his portfolio, he has he started investing with the thematic fund, and now of course he's added a large cap, a mid cap, and a small cap fund. If you look at it in terms of proportion of investment, I think quite a large proportion of the investment is happening in the thematic fund. I would say as a theme, consumption is quite broad-based and has the potential to do well, provide healthy return over a period. But the problem is, again, being a thematic fund, they have a tendency to be erratic in terms of performance. And that is what actually bothers investors who are not familiar with how a theme or a sector will pan out. And I think that is what is actually bothering him. Even in his case, I think he's been investing in this fund for a number of years. And so what happens is that obviously, as you rightly mentioned, over a longer period, maybe there were phases when the fund was doing well, then there were phases when the fund was not doing well. That's why maybe the return is around 10.5%. So that is why we always advise that for a retail investor, it does not make sense to get into a thematic fund or a sector fund, because one, you need to identify the right sector, enter and exit at the right time. So in this case, since he has added a few diversified funds, my recommendation would be that he can exit from this fund and maybe add well-diversified fund in the category of large and mid-cap. Now he has a large cap fund, he has a mid-cap fund and a small cap fund. But large and mid together, I think it's a great addition to the portfolio, because minimum 35% is invested in both these segments, and there is always a bias towards the large cap, and of course the fund manager has the flexibility to keep changing allocation within these two segments. So my recommendation would be that he can consider investing in HDFC large and mid cap, add one fund and exit from this Sundaram consumption fund.
All right, so that's the word coming in from Hemant. Mr. Gopinath, are you still connected with me? Do you want to ask anything else?
No, I got the advice I needed. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much and all the best. We move on, and Hemant, let's take Ankit's question. And he wants to accumulate a corpus of 1 CR in 18 years via SIP, and for that he wants you to suggest the best mutual fund. So, which is the best mutual fund according to you?
So then, Kavita, there is nothing called the best mutual fund. I think you need to always look at what is suitable for you. In this case, obviously it looks like he's investing for the first time, but the good thing is that he has a time horizon of 18 years. So my recommendation would be, because he's going to be investing through SIP, that he should look at primarily well-diversified equity fund, continue this process over the next 18 years, and as and when possible, increase it, or maybe increase it in a disciplined manner on a yearly basis, which is what we call step-up SIP. For him to achieve his target, I think he will have to invest, assuming annualized return of 12%, he needs to invest 13,000 rupees. So my recommendation would be a fund, the multi-cap fund, which could be Kotak multi-cap fund, invest 5,000 in that. Then there is a large and mid-cap, which is Motilal, also a large and mid, invest 5,000 in that. And add one mid-cap fund, which is Nippon India Growth Fund, and invest 3,000 in this. So this is how he can start investing his money, and as and when he is able to increase, maybe if there is a need he can add one more fund, but otherwise I think these three funds should suffice.
All right, so as and when you can try and increase your investment amount as well. But then let's move on and let's take Suresh's question. Hemant, he's 35 years old and he wants to start his investment journey with 3,000 rupees per month for 18 years, and he has no idea about mutual funds. So how should he begin? First step towards mutual funds, and what should be the funds that you might want to recommend?
Well, I would say, even though he would be investing for the first time in mutual fund, he has no idea what the mutual funds are. But I think the good thing is that he also has a time horizon of 18 years. Obviously, for a first time investor, equity investing can be a little intimidating, but because you invest on a regular basis, on a monthly basis in a disciplined manner, and if you start with well-diversified fund, you understand how equity behaves and how you understand the nuances of investing in equity, and over a period of time, as you gain experience, you become a better investor. So I think it will be all right if you start investing in the equity fund for a time horizon of 18 years. For his 3,000 investment, I would recommend two funds. One could be a multi-cap fund, which could be Nippon India multi-cap, you can consider, or maybe Kotak multi-cap, one of these funds. And the second is a large and mid-cap fund, which is HDFC large and mid-cap. You can consider investing 1,500 each in these two funds.
All right, so that's the word coming in for Suresh as well. And a lot of times we get these questions where the investor or the viewer is just taking the first step towards their investment and is confused whether to go for a share or to go via mutual fund into equity market. What would you recommend?
I think first we need to be very clear in terms of asset allocation. Like I mentioned, if you're investing for a longer period, equity is the best asset class because it allows you to earn positive real rate of return over a longer period. But as you rightly mentioned, there are two ways of doing it. Either you can go directly into the stock market or you come through mutual funds. Because investing in equity requires you to have the wherewithal to be able to identify the sector, stocks, when to enter, when to exit, and you end up making a concentrated portfolio which goes against you, because in case there is a volatility in the market, you may not be able to withstand that kind of volatility. So I think it's always a good thing to start investing in equity through mutual fund, because there are professional fund managers who are managing your money, right? And you get a ready-made diversified portfolio, and there are hundreds of funds to choose from, different investment philosophies and strategies. So I think start with the equity funds, and as you go along, once you feel comfortable, and if you feel that you have the capacity to pick stocks on your own, maybe then both can coexist, the stock portfolio and the mutual fund. But in the beginning, I think it's always a good idea to start with mutual funds.
All right, I think that will be all. We've taken up most of the queries that were lined up for today. Thank you so much, Hemant, for being on the show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio. With that, it's a wrap even on the Money Show, but then I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID, where we keep waiting for your questions so that our experts can do your live financial planning on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.